manual labour and one... Oh yeah, after a curry. So I'm in the potato store. Each louvre is controlled by a linear actuator, and I've just had 3 fail in the end of last season, so I've had them off, stripped, renovated, and they've come back. Keen to get them on because in 3 weeks' time these will be working hard again. So these louvres are for mixing or blending the air outside to inside, so you don't get a temperature differential. Any more than 1.5 degrees starts bringing on condensation, so we don't want that because condensation leads to disease. Nothing too tricky, just a case of isolating the power, joining the wires, fixing on the actuator, and connect it up, and then just test. So I've got all 4 rams on. I've been checking as I go, so I'll just open them now to make sure they're all good. I couldn't get out here quick enough to film it, but open. There's 12 rams in all per shed. But yeah, all good. Lovely Saturday morning. I just thought I'd document this field of tates here. We've got field of Sagita. This headland has not had any irrigation. The field has had, what, 4 passes? And it just shows the difference between these and them. Just give it a crafty pass yesterday because it's desperately dry. Famous last words. So hopefully those over there will bulk up. As these are senescing, they might do a crafty bit of bulking, but can't see it. There's lots of tubulums this year and not a lot of leaders, so it's going to be a weird one. That's the last load just been tipped of Wheat 24. Sorry, I've just been distracted by Paul on the phone over there. So I'm just going to get these corners cleared out, and I've got about 3 tons of barley to cut then. Manual labour and one-handed shoveling, very millennial. So this is the bit of spring barley we put in on this gooey wet bit where it was too wet for the peas. Sure enough, these few peas here did do crap. They're kind of wet at the time. But the barley actually is doing really well. It's just on the last tank of this season. It's proper autumny. I've got my coat and trousers on. See, it's putting us at 3.5 inches just to get all the heads in. Perfectly ripe. Good morning. It's a very dull and misty morning after yesterday's mega rain. It really did mega rain. So I've just got to a field of Sagita. I'm just going to do a 2 metre test dig to see if it fills the basket. If it fills the basket, we're doing about 20 tonne. What do I notice when I get to the field or into the field? It's just a sheer abundance of cobwebs, absolutely full of cobwebs, which is no point filming because you won't see them. But if you're a bit scared of spiders, look away, but absolutely full of cobwebs. So, right, let's get to it. So what am I thinking when I dig these up? Well, one is the smell. Oh, the smell of digging potatoes. It's just primeval. It just takes you back to molecular level. Oh wow, look at them. That's a good sign. I was getting a bit nervous with that then. So that's, oh my knees. That's 2 metres of potatoes dug there. So what are my thoughts? There's a lot of numbers and not a lot of size. I like to see the greater percentage above that sort of size, and they're not. That is the biggest one. That's what I call a leader. And you need a few of them in a sort of a 25 kilo sack to give it the wow. Our customers sort of like big potatoes. They don't like these little things. And anyway, we grade them out prior to bagging. Looking at it, we might get the yield, but in little format. Now you wouldn't think, looking at this soil or looking at the potatoes, I've just had just over a ½ inch of rain in the last week. They look a bit better now, they're filling the basket. It's just these little things are no good to anybody. So yes, looking at that, I will weigh them when I get back to the yard and dry matter test them. But yeah, they're nicely senescing now, so they're actually quietly bulking up. I'm sure when you flail them, they have a panic growth spurt as well. I like to tell myself that anyway. What a weird morning. This would be pretty bleak if you knew we had lots of combining to do, but fortunately we're done. So I've just marked the end of a 2 metre bit with that fork there, so I'll remove 2 metres of plants. But look at all these the little ones, they're no good at all. That's just a waste of energy. Really need the energy to go towards the bigger ones. This is what MH is supposed to do. Or metallic hydrazide. So what the simple way of measuring, draw my line there. Fork's a good meter. Put that there. Okay, I'll dig these little beauties out. Ah, look at that. What a fail. So I'm going to dig another 2 metres up here in a very average position, just so it's fair. Not too near the tram line, not too near the end of the row. Just to see if it's the same as either end of the field. Look how they come to life. Heavier end of the field here. And instantly I see bigger potatoes, which is really good because they'll mix in the trailer, in the grader, in the boxes. can make a better sample. So much easier to sell when they fit the bill, you know, size-wise. These sort of soils, if they're dry at harvesting, they can be quite bruisey on the potatoes. That's why I'm not too shy of watering late like this. Oh, the smell though, if you've never smelt freshly dug potatoes, you're really missing out. So what I'm doing with a fork here is literally what the harvester does. Only this fork was 45 pounds, and the harvester's probably getting on to 500,000. But I'm not going to dig the lot like this, I'll be forever. Why does it only get stab the biggest? That's a promising start so far. Oh, wow, what numbers. See, last year was blighted by each plant only producing sort of 4, 5, maybe 6 if you're lucky tubers. Didn't fill the basket like I was hoping though. Just a little bit more than far end. So I've just got back to the yard. I'm going to do a dry matter test to see what the moisture level is of the potato. This is quite critical because for chipping, we don't really want to be any higher than 21.5 dry matter. Why? Because if it's too dry, you get a dry tasting chip, and if it's too wet, it makes the oil fizz. So that's ready. Let's put 3 or 4 kilos in here. Yeah, it's quite a fine line between too dry and too wet. There we go. Another couple more. If they're over 21.5, they're a bit of a nightmare to sell. So weigh in the air. Then we plunge them in water. That way we could do this thing just the sums to see what the dry matter is. Show data. Wow, 21.7. So they're plenty high enough. What is it? Oh, it's put its back up when you got near.
Do it again now. If it's not poisonous.
Got to piss it off a bit more.
I think it's your glove it threatened, right?
Oh, is it? So we've got the packer here. George is just putting the jig on to squeeze this end down tight. He's split them all and cleaned all the sections.
You can see in there the squeeze of arm was more than what we had. Not bad.
Yeah, you see a lot of that shaft. Well, that end it's got a 20-ton jack, so it's a fair bit of force. Yeah, so George has got that middle nut tightened up. Before we just couldn't get it the last bit, but this jig thing made it really, really easy. Borrowed from Ben Burgess or Double Days, formerly Born Tractors. So it gets put back on the machine. Bit of a palaver, but very safe. So George has got all the packers put back together. We've changed all the bearings bar one, which was changed through the year. Yeah, to hide this, it's been a really good tool. and quick. Got Max over there. Max over there making a lot of dust. So Max is here, he's emptying the hose reels ready for winter. If you don't, you get the vital organs freeze up and it can blow castings apart. And it's just not worth the aggro, so merely shove up the air from the compressor. There's a lot of this for a lot of minutes, but then getting close to wintering then. Some people you can pull them out and do it, but the fear is when you wind it in again, it lays it bad on the drum. That's what angry water looks like. It's got that scattering bar shoved in there to hold its violence down a bit. Doing here then? Right, so we're in the potato field. This is the one where I was planting that end from months and months ago. Paul's here flailing. Mainly not because we want to, because we kind of have to now, because since they banned regular 4, 5, 6 years ago, we have to flail now. So we have to flail off to stop the growth. So it's well, to start a skin set really. If you don't set the skin, they won't stop. So we aim for a minimum of that, and then when we spray spotlight or goes eye on, it starts even a bit more breakdown. It seems such a shame to have to flail these off because really they're doing maximum bulking at the moment. It's still a relatively healthy plant. I don't want to be in the field in a bog like last year. That was just too exhausting, so I'll take a little bit of a yield penalty. Because frankly life's too short to enjoy, so enjoy those sort of conditions willingly and voluntarily. Just the MX out again, mainly because it's the only one of road crops. Big wheels running on the road, that's what I was saying a minute ago about squidging the silt down so you don't get the crack and seal the crack at the top of the road. You'll notice the back window open because the air conditions just failed. Yeah, pretty good failing conditions really. So inside that hood is like a baffle and it directs the horn into the bottom of the road. Oh, it smells lovely. And then we can lift the left and right side of the machine up independently, just in case you get like or inaccuracies in the levels. This is a non-folder machine because we wanted the lightness of not having all the folded mechanism. It's really hard walking up this bit. hope you can hear that Cummins engine. Oh, it's just a joy. Just see my aerials came off the thing. Don't know what it's for, but I'm sure it's needed. So what my go-to glue is now is this CT1 Excellence. It's another level above silicone. Quick squirt on there. Done.